So around the middle of July, I had the idea of doing a 48-hour film challenge. It wasn't tethered to any sort of competition that somebody else was hosting. I figured I'd try out that 48 film challenge myself, see if I can do it. We broke down the films that we have done in the past, all the way from The Master, all the way down to recent films like Riven and Foresight. So we basically got to see what we've done in the past, what genres have we not done, what kind of ideas have we not done yet. And we eventually boiled down to, I wanted to do more of a sci-fi-esque type of film. We kind of melded like sci-fi with kind of like post-apocalyptic kind of vibe. I especially wanted to do this film challenge to kind of exercise my cinematography abilities, since that is something I like to do. I like to do cinematography, and had been a while since I've done it. We filmed it originally just with the lead scene that we had, where we just had Corey dressed up in regular clothing, and then that's where the film began. He kind of approaches the scene. He's reading a book, and then he feels something is wrong, and then that's when he kind of like passes out, and then we cut to scenes like the Bosque, where he wakes up on that tree stump and he's kind of confused. This character is traveling through different kind of bodies and different variations and different realities, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of complicated. I know that we did such an idea in a 3-minute short film, but it was just an experiment at the very least. And so that's kind of like the premise of the film. This guy who doesn't know what's going on is being forced to go through these different realities, through these different bodies, and kind of experience a certain environment. So we filmed it. We filmed at this place, these wood areas called like the Bosque. That was the primary setting, and I filmed there in the past through different films such as The Master and Foresight, stuff like that. As an added like twist to this film, we decided to sort of like loosely connect it to one of the other films that I made called Marked. In that film, it was kind of like about a cult, and Corey starred in it, and this film, Variance, connects to that, where that's one of the different bodies he wakes up to. So yeah, that explains that kind of thing. And we went out to that desert area to film where we originally were for Marked, so that way we could kind of connect those two scenes. And I also had a friend come out and do the behind the scenes footage, which you guys are seeing throughout this video. So we started at the desert first, and then we went to the Bosque and filmed the rest of that. And it starts out where he goes through, basically, the character in Variance goes through 3 different phases, where he starts out as just like not really the discovered phaser yet. So he doesn't have his mask, and he's kind of like, he's in the trench coat, but he's not quite there yet. And then the second one would be when he's actually is the phaser, and that's where we cut to an area we filmed before in the past films, which I've kind of called the Master's area. And he's, fully formed phaser. He's got the mask on, but he's not quite sure what's going on. And in that scene, he approaches what is another character's outfit called Dreammaker. It's her jacket that's hanging on that branch in the Bosque. And he pulls out a pocket watch that belongs to Infinity, another character. So we came up with the initial idea. Then the filming was its own kind of like idea as well. And then the last 24 hours of this film challenge is when we did the editing, and that was like essentially another rewrite of this concept for Variance. When we first put together all the footage, and I screened it to Corey and my girlfriend, and what kind of came about was that they didn't really know what was going on throughout the film. So what was missing was dialogue, and so we kind of were stuck there, and we tried to figure out what dialogue could we do. Luckily we had Corey there, and we were able to record some ADR or some voiceover, whatever have you. So then I came up with the idea of like, what if there's a voice guiding this character throughout this film? This character is obviously, throughout what we shot, is exploring something, but we don't know where he's going. And even the editing, the kind of structure of the film kind of changed throughout it, where I mentioned earlier an opening scene where it's just Corey as the regular person. We cut that scene. After cutting out the normal scene and having that scene, I decided to shift the bomb scene, if you will, to the beginning, to have an opening scene that really like hooks you in, really grabs your attention. And so from that, I kind of like did my editing magic and made it seem like the bomb was kind of approaching him, but by having the white flash at the end of the scene. Cut to the title, and then we go to the Bosque where he wakes up from a tree stump. I was trying to figure out where to end the film that was really like sort of satisfying, because originally the ending was just him walking away through it in the cult scene. And I decided, what if after he gets killed in the cult scene, that the film essentially restarts. And so we cut to like a VHS kind of thing where the footage gets cut and then the VHS resets, and now we're playing the beginning of the film with the dialogue from the anonymous voice saying, "Let's try this again." And thus the film kind of restarts, and now he's kind of back on a different journey, but in a similar reality or setting, for this mysterious voice to guide him again where he should be. So that's kind of the editing process. That was the entire process really for this 48-hour film challenge. It's something new. I kind of want to do it again sometime in the future. We'll see. But this was a nice little fun challenge to kind of, more importantly, to get me to do my cinematography again, since I haven't done that in a while. That was the 48-hour film challenge. It was really fun. I'm probably repeating myself over and over again.